Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I take you on a 3-day trip to one of China's most beautiful sceneries and most visited tourist attraction. We traveled across the province of Sichuan to visit a UNESCO World Heritage Landmark at the heart of Tibetan communities. So follow along for our discovery of Jiuzhaigou National Park and the area around it. We took a Didi to go to Chengdu East station. The most convenient train that would bring you closer to Jiuzhaigou Park is probably the one to Jiuzhaigou, but we didn't want to go directly to Jiuzhaigou. We wanted to make a stop and visit the town of Songpan first. So this is where we are heading. You notice that the station is huge and super busy. So I always recommend to show up early at a Chinese train station. The gates for the train always open 15 minutes or 20 minutes before departure, but everyone miraculously always gets it in time, and the train leaves without delay. If you travel in China, it's a great idea to take the train. You can really see how the country is quickly developing and notice the changes of sceneries. Songpan is definitely another world. It's a little chaotic outside the station with buses and cars. We called a taxi to reach the town center and we stopped at the tourist information center to leave our luggage for the day. It cost 10 yuan for the day, which is worth paying to enjoy Songzhou and Songpan without our suitcases. But quick tip, don't buy your presents there as you can't really negotiate the prices, and they tend to be a bit more expensive than the shops up there in Jiuzhaigou or in the town center. The whole valley is part of a Tibetan autonomous region, which is why you can find many examples of Tibetan food, alcohol, or clothing. We really enjoyed hanging out in Songpan. People were really friendly, we could do a bit of shopping for nice souvenirs. If you have some time during your trip, I really recommend making a stop there. You can use this opportunity to try the famous Suyo cha. It's a Tibetan drink with tea, salt, and yak butter. We didn't really like the taste very much, but it's worth trying, and the shop was really lovely. They were about to close, but they made 2 cups ready for us. Now, taking the bus to Jiuzhaigou was another story. Just be patient, use all the Chinese you learned. We were given conflicting information about where the bus to Jiuzhaigou was, so we decided to just speak to every driver directly until we found the one. We didn't book anything, we just talked to people and got on the bus. The ticket to Jiuzhaigou was not very expensive. I believe it was less than 100 yuan. It's a 2-hour ride in the mountains, but it's fairly smooth and the roads are really well built. As you drive along, you can see some of the Tibetan villages that the valley gets its name from. We got to our hotel late in the afternoon, so we rested a little, washed clothes, and then we headed out for dinner. Tongpin found us a great place to have dinner. We had a Tibetan hot pot, which I really liked. It wasn't spicy, and we tried the local meat, the yak meat, and also the local beer, which was actually very tasty. There wasn't a lot of people. I got the sense that most people come to Jiuzhaigou just for the day, so the evenings are pretty quiet. And when we went to a restaurant, we were almost always alone. It's time to visit the famous Jiuzhaigou National Park and see what it's all about. And if it looks as amazing as what we see on the photos, and spoiler, it does. Our hotel is about 1 kilometer from the entrance of the valley. I lived in China for many years and I know that they work a lot on the touristic infrastructures, but I still was somehow surprised how super developed the park was. You have to book your ticket on WeChat. During peak season, it's not a cheap experience. We paid something around 280 yuan, which is about 30 euros, for the entrance fee and the shuttle bus that takes you anywhere around the park. It's cheaper to go between December and March, but obviously it's much colder. The park is very well laid out for tourism. You go on a shuttle bus that takes you to the highest point in the valley. All the while, a guide is presenting all the legends and stories about Jiuzhaigou. Once you're up there, you can either decide to walk down and explore at your own pace, or go on a shuttle again and stop at a location that you want to explore further. My impression of this place: the air was so fresh and crisp and the colors were so pure, and the water, I've never seen a water this clean and pure anywhere else in China. I was definitely fooled by the hot weather in the town. It was around 20 degrees when we left, but as we went up in the park, the temperatures went below 10. So I ended up buying a light coat up there in the valley. So make sure you're dressed for all kinds of weather when you visit this area. It's also really busy with tourists. Fortunately, the valley is big and you have pockets of tourists here and there, so it doesn't feel as crowded as some other touristic spots in China, but it's still not the dream pictures of peace and quiet that you can see on social media. There is a bit of pushing and shoving when it comes to taking the shuttle that can make your day a bit stressful at times. I recommend going to see it for yourself if you're visiting the province. It's definitely not an easy trip to make if you don't speak Chinese very well, and as a matter of fact, we didn't see many foreigners that day. I believe 90% of tourists visiting Jiuzhaigou are Chinese nationals. We also visited a temple that seemed fairly new. Be careful not to film or take any pictures when you visit inside the temple, as it's not allowed. We ended the day with a large dinner. It was delicious, the bosses were extremely lovely, And again, we were the only customers. We highly recommend this restaurant. Our last day in Jiuzhaigou was all about hanging out, drinking coffee, and eating. We took a taxi to a part of the valley slightly west of where we were staying, and we spent some time there in lovely coffee shops. We tried the soft bread made with barley, which is widely used in the region. It was delicious and light. You should definitely try it if you go to Jiuzhaigou. This concludes our time in Jiuzhaigou. Let me know in the comments if you would visit it, and if you have questions about organizing this trip, I'll be happy to give some advice. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow our adventures in China and other places. Give a like, write a little something. It really helps pushing my videos to more people, and it also encourages me to create more. You can also watch our first days in Sichuan right here. Thank you, and see you in the next video.